Okay, so today we are reviewing Hitman Agent 47. This is the second in the Hitman series. This time we no longer have, I think it was Rupert Friend who was in the first one. He was in Justified. Now we got this new guy, I can't remember his name, but always Rupert Friend's in this one. But it's the guy from Homeland this time around. So we had the guy from Justified and now you got the guy from Homeland. We've also got Zachary Quinto, who I really like, so to see him in a film like this was unusual, to say the least. And so what is the synopsis of this film, if there is such a thing for this film?
A synopsis? Well, first of all, you're mentioning the actors, so I just have to say I like the cast this time. I thought they were a lot better, actually. They nailed their characters. This one we're seeing Agent 47. He's got a couple of contracts. We're actually seeing him breaking his contracts for the first time, I think, which is interesting because there's a sort of family reunion thing going on. So he's got his sister who's also an agent, but she doesn't know it. She's more advanced than him, but she suppresses what she's capable of with drugs, like I guess they're sort of tranquilizer sort of stuff or something. She uses them to help her sleep, so, or at least depressants of some kind. It just helps her tune everything out a bit. But she's still got super hearing and stuff, so she can still hear and see and figure out what's going on. Somehow she can see things that are happening, like on the other side of walls and stuff going on, just from her superior intelligence. And we've got the people that Hitman is working for. So there's one group that are after getting her killed, and there's another group that want to get her in order to find her father, who she doesn't even know is her father because I don't know if her memory is wiped or she just doesn't know. She's forgotten because it was when she was a child. He died went missing when she was a child. I think her mother died when she was a child. So we're following sort of a mix of that. So the company that want to get hold of her they want to manufacture their own agents by getting hold of her father, who created the agents in the first place. But they're actually producing their own things already, which aren't agents. They're not mentally superior, which the agents are, but instead they're physically superior because they have a new sort of titanium body armor built into their skin. So yeah, that's one overarching way of putting it as a synopsis. So we've first of all we got the one side is convincing her that Hitman Agent 47 is the bad guy because obviously he wants to go and kill her, but then he doesn't kill her even though he's supposed to, and now he's sort of getting her onto his side, and they're going off looking for this fella who's created the agents. So
that's the film in a nutshell. So
thank you.
It pretty much it's very different from the first one, I think. In the first one, it just gets straight into him doing jobs, and then he rescues the woman, and then he goes against what he's supposed to do. So it just kind of set the scene, but it's a very basic kind of story. And this one goes into more detail about the kind of the mythology and the kind of the background of it all, what Hitman is and what the agencies and stuff.
Yeah, they explain it a bit. Yeah.
And they kind of open up the universe a little bit more than originally when we just scratched the surface in the first movie. So for that part, it's good. But because if you haven't played the games or if you're not really too fond of it, it's kind of a rubbish story, really, because you won't really care for anything that's going on.
Think so?
I
would say the opposite, personally.
I didn't really care much for them. That's why I was kind of rooting for the bad guys. That's kind of what I put in. I don't know what it was. It's quite difficult to explain when. If you love something, you just straight away, I like that, I don't care how rubbish the story that is, I'm loving it, I'm having a great time. For some reason I just didn't feel that way about this film.
Yeah, I mean, what are reviews saying? Because you were saying that it's getting quite a bad rap.
It's yeah.
You were saying to me before.
A lot of people are. I mean, I think some of the ratings are really, really low on this film, to the point where it's even worth people watching the film. It's been, but I guess, you know, when you make these types of films, you're making it for a particular audience, not for the masses. Like Resident Evil franchise, you know, they're not made for the masses. They make millions and they're doing phenomenally well, but they're not made for everyone. So, you know, I think this is another example, one of those kind of films where they're not for everyone. Just watch it if you're interested in that sort of style of film. But it is an action film with a different star cast. Everyone's different. Hitman's changed. I think one of the things that people get confused about is they look at him and they think, oh, he's very wooden, he's very one-dimensional. But if you've ever played the game or know anything about it, that's the way he's supposed to act, unemotional.
Exactly. And they explain that he's programmed, but okay.
I think he does a good job of that. You know? Yeah.
I mean, my personal point of view, I enjoyed this film. I thought it was done really well. I mean, I haven't really played much of the games. I don't really remember the first one. It didn't appeal to me, the first one. Generally, movies out of video games tend to let me down. They're either produced badly, or in some cases, most like Silent Hill, for instance. I loved the series of the games, and I couldn't really get into them, the actual movies, because I just really liked the game so much that they didn't fulfill that. So for me, because I hadn't played the game so much, and I hadn't built up any sort of resistance to how they were going to tell this story, I really liked it, and I thought it had a whole universe, as you say. The universe opens up, and I thought that was done really well. I really liked seeing this universe that I didn't really know much about, and I liked what they did with it and how it played out. And probably the only thing I didn't like was the very end, where the main villain is supposed to be dead. Does the chicken from Family Guy move? Just opens his eye at the end. I'm still alive. I'm going to have a sequel. I thought that's kind of cheesy, but at the same time, I kind of do want to see more of this universe now. So I thought it was a success in terms of movies from video games, in comparison to most not being so good.
Yeah, I'm half and half. There's a lot of awful video game adaptations, but then some I go into, like you say, Silent Hill. I've never played the games, and I enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a good horror kind of film, and if nothing else.
Yeah, they're really great.
Resident Evil, the first one, I didn't really like so much, but then as the films went on and they started to get into zombies and they're shooting things down, I enjoyed that.
Quite a good series.
So, some of them aren't that bad, you know. So I mean, they're not made for everyone. You won't enjoy them, but I don't think you have to play the game to enjoy the film if you like yourself.
No, I don't think so. I mean, as long as you've got the understanding that this character is going to be a bit of a superhuman. I just knew it was going to be a really good Hitman. I didn't know it was actually based purely on like genetics and superhuman, but I really enjoyed it still. So, yeah, I mean, Silent Hill in particular. I think if I'd gone into Silent Hill, I mean, this is something I just want to say. This possible good advice for going in from video games to movies is to go in. If you really enjoy the video game, maybe just go into the movie thinking this is going to be a sort of a completely different side story based on it, that is going to have their own story, and just enjoy it for that. Because with Silent Hill especially, I was going in wanting the video game, and I was delivered a movie. But movies are so different from video games. They're going to deliver something completely different. So, got to embrace the movie.
Yeah, quickly talk about a couple of adaptations coming out soon, or potentially. One is Assassin's Creed, which I can't wait for. Michael Fassbender released the picture of. Very early talks, may never happen. Borderlands, the motion picture. That would be awesome.
That'd be interesting.
That's just shooting lots of random aliens and kind of being in Pandora.
Yeah.
If they can.
Well, I guess they'd have the 3 or 4 main guys. Is it 3?
Yeah, the four Vault Hunters.
Yeah, 4.
So if these things, if any of these things pay off, it's great. But everything's got the chance of being a Prince of Persia at the same time. So there's you've got one or the other.
Yeah, so it's really down to the writers and stuff, isn't it? And they're going to really be confident with their own story, or just trip themselves up with the game.
I think some of the games have a good story, and you could almost just bring that to life. If you think about Borderlands, it doesn't have much of a story. They go to Pandora, they open a vault, and all sorts of stuff happens. But that's a Hollywood blockbuster there, What movie isn't like
that's where the danger comes in, though, because when they try to bring a video game story to life, I think the way the story comes across over a long passage of time, during gameplay, is completely different to how it would unfold on a big screen, and you have to have a lot of skill to pull that off, and I haven't seen it happen yet.
No. It's 100% agree. My rating for this film would be, it was as good as it could be. I'm going to stick with what I originally thought when I went into the cinema. It's Hitman, the sequel, but with a new cast, but still not as good as the first one. So 4.
Well, 4. I'm finding it very hard at the moment to rate these things.
Performance impaired.
Yeah, I'll just give it. Might have to give it a letter. Or maybe I'll give it a 47. There you go.
The communication array is blocking my signal.
4.7.
I think it's worth seeing. Let's just go for 7. It's worth seeing, I think. Some people are going to love it, some are going to hate it by the sound of it. So
It's straight to
I loved it.